We are starting from issues regarding Ghana's finances and our economy. The Bank of Ghana has dismissed claims that its benefit, I beg your pardon, the Bank of Ghana says that it is not true that it benefits from high interest rates. The central bank noted that a high interest rate rather raises the cost of open market operation, which results in the bank's losses. The central bank's comments come at the time that the Agbogbo Mafia of the Sogli state, Togbe Afede, the 16th, expressed concern about the Bank of Ghana's interest rates. In the view of Togbe Afede, the local city would continue to suffer adverse consequences as long as the interest rates are kept unnecessarily high. The Bank of Ghana highlighted that the latest forecast indicates a potentially elevated trajectory with factors contributing to possible adjustments in transport fares, utility tariffs, higher fuel prices, and the pass-through effects of exchange rate depreciation. And what Togbe Afede said comes on the back of several other institutions and civil society bodies and stakeholders within the economy who are all concerned about the depreciation of the cedi and its performance against the major trading currencies. And as it stands, the Bank of Ghana, in a rebuttal, says that it is not true that as an institution they are benefiting from the high interest rates. Let's try and make sense of what this really means for the everyday Ghanaian. Joining us on Zoom is Professor John Gache, who is the Dean of the University of Cape Coast Business School. Prof, a very good evening to you. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Right. To start with, the central bank says that the high interest rate rather raises the cost of open market operation, and because of that, it is not true that they as an institution benefit from the high interest rate. First of all, what is the meaning of this, if you do understand it, and if you can explain it to the average Ghanaian?
Well, all that Bank of Ghana is saying is that they have activities they undertake in the money market. That's when the interest rate is very high, they undertake those activities at a high cost, including operation costs of the Bank of Ghana. And for that matter, they think that what Togbe Afede said is not true. But I do know that when interest rates are high, the cost of operations of government goes up, the cost of operation by individual households and businesses go up. But what we are talking about is the net benefit to individuals, net benefit businesses, and to the Bank of Ghana. It is very clear that the net benefit on the books of the Bank of Ghana shows that they are supported highly by high interest rate in terms of high interest income. So if you look at the net interest income of the Bank of Ghana, it clearly shows that they benefited from the high interest rate. What is true is that I'm not sure that this phenomenon is occasioned by intentional policy by the Bank of Ghana. But it is true that when you look at the books of Bank of Ghana, they benefit from the high interest rates.
Okay, so there seems to be some contradiction there, isn't there? For instance, we know the Bank of Ghana has also said that it is implementing, like you indicated, in its own words, a necessary right. So for the Bank of Ghana, it says its policies, it is implementing, in its own words, a necessary price to pay to help bring down inflation. And if you say they are benefiting somewhat, they are also saying they are not benefiting. How do you juxtapose the two?
You see, we are looking at the financial statement of the Bank of Ghana. And the financial statement of the Bank of Ghana clearly shows that the net interest income goes higher and in the direction of high interest rates. And so you can argue that you are not benefiting from high interest rates. The net benefit goes to you. The net benefit is what you are using to finance your operations and your activities. So that is not in question. But I believe what the Bank of Ghana needs to address is that they are not benefiting from this net benefit of interest income because of a deliberate policy from the bank. Because see, the Bank of Ghana is managing the exchange rate, managing interest rates, and trying to ensure price stability for the three level of prices: inflation, interest rate, exchange rate for the economy. So they cannot have a policy towards themselves to say that we want to put in place this policy to benefit us. It is just that the banks, commercial banks, also have the same net benefit from interest income, or other individuals and businesses who invest in debt instruments across board in the country. Also, at the end of the day, they benefit from net benefit, from interest income. So that is not in question. But I think what the Bank of Ghana ought to stress is that they have not formulated any of their policies towards their own self-interest. And that, I believe, Bank of Ghana has not done that. It is just because of the way the economy is managed.
Okay. And Doc, finally, Prof, before you take leave of us, how does this affect the performance of the cedi? Unfortunately, it's been struggling. It's been having some downward spiral, and the depreciation in itself is taking a toll on the economy. Does this net interest benefit that the Bank of Ghana has? Yes, go on.
The depreciation itself is not occasioned by the weak policies of the Bank of Ghana. It's occasioned by the number of factors, many of which are not under the control of the Bank of Ghana. Bank of Ghana does not involve itself in how much we should borrow. Of course, Bank of Ghana does not involve itself in how you should structure your production sector to be able to produce, to feed the country, which they are not importing so many of the things that we are importing. So if we're discussing the exchange rate difficulties, it is very difficult to blame it squarely on the Bank of Ghana. I think it is as a result of the kind of economic management outcome that we are getting.
Prof, always a pleasure talking to you. Thank you for your insights. As always, Professor John Gachi, Dean of the University of Cape Coast Business School.
And now to one of our